Hey, good morning. What a shaken nation. Today's conversation is about respect, accountability, and what it really means to show up for the other men, the other women, the other humans in your life. Not just when the weight's heavy, but when the pressure is on in life. Stick on around for that in the deep dive, guys, but coming up first, let's go. Welcome back to Mornings in the Live with Keith, Johnny, and friends, your daily accountability partner in your go-to spot for men's conversation, real talk, and entertainment that kicks your ass right out of bed. Now, don't forget, guys, this is an R-rated experience, so if you got the kids within earshot, either get a pair of headphones on or kick them out of the room before we start dropping the F-bombs. They're probably just around the corner over there. And whatever you do, don't hit that snooze button, guys, because if you are, you're 9 minutes behind, your brain goes back to sleep, you're going to be all groggy and behind the guy who's not hitting the snooze button. So, hey, here's today's lineup. Hour one kicks off with the morning loop, the first unpredictable 30 minutes of your day. You never know what we're going to talk about. Nope, you don't. We put topics on the table. So we aren't a breaking news or a current events company, but we like to have conversations about breaking news and current events. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about breaking stories like SpaceX, Starship, finally doing some different things. Netflix Melissa, Jimmy, I had to throw this one on the table because I suspect our audience is familiar with Sesame Street. We're going to talk some Sesame Street. Yeah, true story. A men's show talking Sesame Street. Big Bird and Elmo on the global streaming platform, and this outrageous. Hey, Jimmy, just a heads up, man. I apologies. I meant to tell you there is a clip about this Red Bull thing. If you can find it, it's awesome. Well, it's with all context. And you might or might not, and there's no pressure. It was part of the news story when I found it. But anyways, hey, guys, 2 Red Bull pilots swapped airplanes in midair. Yeah. So just, hey, Jimmy, let's go for a fly. So Jimmy's going to get on one plane. Keith's going to go on plane. And I'm going to say, hey, Jim. Jimmy's going to go, yes, Keith. I'm going to say, hey, let's jump out of your plane. I'll jump out of my plane, and we'll just get into each other's plane. True story. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Jimmy, thanks, brother. You're awesome, man. I was already giving Jimmy the gears this morning, even though there was no point in giving Jimmy the gears. I thought our audio was off this morning. And I was like, Jimmy, what's up with the audio? He was like, I don't know. I go, did you do anything? He's like, no. I'm like, well, fuck, man. What's going on? Because talking to Cart. Anyway, it's not like the audio was off. So if the audio was off, somewhere maybe there's some gremlins messing up the audio, but I hope my ears were bleeding a little bit this morning. It was just so loud and piercing. But somewhere there's gremlins, but we're going to get after it. Anyways, 2 Red Bull pilots swapped airplanes. Boom, boom. We're also going to dive into how scientists may have cracked the code on the origins of life itself. Yeah, and why some newsrooms got punked by AI imposters pretending to be real journalists. Center stage, Ronnell Richards bringing the heat on why his shut up and sell philosophy is smashing the toxic bro sales culture and changing how business actually gets done. And like I said, guys, we got a fun topic today. We're going to talk gym spotting. You probably never thought that you'd ever have this conversation. Have you ever spotted somebody in the gym before? Have you ever been spotted in the gym before? Let's get into the do's and the don'ts and why the guy or the girl you're trusting to grab the bar is usually the same guy you can trust to show up in life. I can tell you, my life changed in the squat rack. AJ Zeglin squatting me, having those deep conversations. I'm sure Johnny Andersen has as well. After that, guys, going to get into reloaded spotlighting 3 quick hip unlock tests every man can do to unlock his hips at home to bulletproof his performance. And then, guys, morning focus. Here's a fun one. We're going to talk about the biggest bro science lies.
I want to just remove fat on my tricep. I would like to get a smaller left butt cheek. Johnny, how do I just get some abs?
So we're going to talk bro science. Yeah, and the lies that are on the table. I'm going to go truth or lie, and John's just going to go lie, myth, lie, bullshit. Where's the interest? We're going to get into interest today, guys. John dropped the word this week, interest, and it's been an epiphany for the last 48 hours for me. It really has. I actually, the more I keep thinking about it, I think interest might be the word to unlock the magic in your life. Everybody talks about passion and purpose. I think it might be interest. Interest ties to curiosity. Interest ties to intention. If you have interest, You're curious. If you're curious, you have intention. If you have intention, you probably have success. Yep, there you go. Melissa, Jimmy, John, we've just solved all the world's problems. True fucking story. There's nothing else left to do. Nope. Go find your interest. Go make some money. Off you go. Finally, we're going to close with the community corner, celebrating creators, lifting up the voices. And today we're going to give a special shout out to two standouts, Dale and Phillip. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dale and Phillip. Thanks, Melissa, with 2 P's. In hour 3, we're going to get inside the lab. We're going to talk about what's happening. We may or may not. Uncle Keith has been too busy working on the first 2 hours. So, and my team's been busting and working on the first 2 hours. So we'll see how hour 3 gets around the corner as we get into the big Thursday of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and John. And hey, Jimmy, Melissa. All right. The morning loop starts now.
Give it up for the crew, nation. Keith, John, the stage is yours.
Yo, John, beat that.
Yo, John, beat that.
That was, you know what that was? That was like the fucking goat button. That was a belch with no nuts.
I love it. I love it. How are you, brother? How are you today, pal? You good?
I'm good, man. I had like this
tell me
crazy good night of sleep.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, whoa. Like, holy shit. Like, I mean, there was a test involved, of course, an experiment.
Of course.
Fuck, I woke up at like 1:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, man. I am like, and I can really tell I slept because when I get up and I walk towards taking a piss,
yes,
I can feel how recovered or not my body is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If I haven't been sleeping well, dude, I can feel a difference in my walk.
I have to take, I wasn't going to talk about it, but you just said something which is, I guess, going to make me talk about it. All right. So I never talk about this kind of stuff, just like you don't talk about this kind of stuff. But I guess we like to pull our pants down on this show, Johnny, and be honest with our audience and be vulnerable. Well, I may have tweaked my lower back yesterday.
What'd you do? How'd you do it? I guess.
I don't know, man. It's fucking stupid because it wasn't a lift day. It was a stretch day. It was my yoga day yesterday. Now, if I tweaked my back in a lift, whole different discussion. I'm not talking about it. But I did a stretch and some yoga yesterday. I walk upstairs. I'm like, what the hell? My lower right lumbar here, and the crazy.
I got you. All right, Chad, I'm going to fix you and everybody else has got this problem right now. Are you ready?
And hold on. I want to explain one more thing to you, just so you understand. Yeah. Okay. And I think this is probably a obvious thing you're going to say to me, but I did my shit this morning like I always do. You know, even if you wince a little bit, it's just a little bit of fucking momentary discomfort. Not even pain. It's called discomfort. I found the warmer my body got, the harder my body got, the better I felt. So I'm thinking that it's related to maybe just being cold and tight. No?
Well, the reason it's because as you warm up, the muscles warm up, they loosen up, and whatever they're pushing on or pulling on doesn't take the same heat.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. A tight muscle is going to put more pressure on whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody listen up.
Yeah.
If you've got, and I fix this all the time with my clients.
Tell me.
Yeah. So if you've got a lower lumbar, and this is, keep in mind, it's not a guarantee, but I would say probably 80%, maybe 85% of the time this will work. Okay. Now, got to look at it a little bit like brushing your teeth. If you're one of these people who had this problem recurring, it's because your back is weak. Yeah. Why is your back weak? Doesn't matter. That's the problem. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of times people hear, "Oh, my back's not weak." Well, fuck. You keep throwing out. Of course, it's weak. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, because what happens is the muscles in your back are not conditioned or strong or both enough to keep everything in place. And if something shifts, touches a nerve, there's that thing. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, if you were to look at the back, there's 2 long strips of muscles that run from literally your neck all the way to your pelvic area. Yeah, back straps. That's like the tenderloin on the pig. Yeah. That's our tenderloin. Yeah. Okay. If those muscles have not been conditioned or are not strong, then basically they're designed to keep everything nice and tight on the spine. Yes. Right? So here's the drill. Now, here's how you can kind of test it too. So if you have one of these situations like Keith, you get on the ground and you do a Superman. Okay, now here's the ticket. Arms out front. What you want to do is first contraction is the butt cheek, right? Yeah. Then should kind of pull you up like this. Now, it should hurt, but at the same time, kind of it's kind of like a good hurt at the same time.
Well, I'd like to rewire the word discomfort, because we get confused with hurt being pain. I would rather encourage somebody to appreciate the discomfort in it, because discomfort's different than pain. It really is.
Whatever adjective somebody wants to put with their back, a lot of times, no, this is not discomfort, this is pain. Okay,
you haven't fucking realized pain. Yeah. No,
either way, I agree with you, brother.
Yeah.
But sometimes, well, mine is pain, so this isn't going to work for me.
Yeah. No, you're just a fucking pussy. You haven't been under the squat rack in 50 years. That's what the problem is. That's your pain.
So you do these basically Supermans, right? And if you experience pain, but yet kind of an eerie good pain, what's happening is those muscles are contracting and they're pulling whatever's out of place back into place.
Yeah.
So rather than go to the chiropractor, have him pop you, you can use your own muscles to straighten yourself out. See, the chiropractor pops you, but what he doesn't do is tell you what to strengthen so you don't have to come back.
I've never been to chiropractor before, and I don't suspect I'll ever go. I will never.
So check this out. If you do this, and if you do this, and it helps a little bit, you can literally turn this into 3 sessions per day, 30 to 60 seconds. And I can't tell you how many people who used to have 3, 4, 5 of these back out issues per year.
Yeah,
gone like a fucking fart in the wind.
Yeah. I never rarely have them.
Just like brushing your teeth. So your trigger, brush your teeth, get on the ground.
Yeah. I'm gonna go do some later today. I suspect I know where it happened. I was doing some. The funny thing was I was doing some lower string, hamstring, lower body work yesterday, and I was doing like back bridges and some things. And I'm actually pretty flexible, dude. I'm gonna just be straight and confident. I'm for a 53-year-old short little man who's got a little bit of muscle mass on him. I find myself probably more flexible than most, Johnny. I would suspect yesterday. It was an odd thing, but you know what bothers me is it's those odd things when you're taking a shit and you do something. What the hell happened? And it's that moment where you're frustrated more with because you're like, what the hell? It's that discomfort of it's like it's frustrating more than anything. So there you go. I'm done.
Well, and it all comes down to just like you can be flexible, right? Which you are, which is great, but the muscles have to be conditioned enough. Yes. When I say conditioned, like you train, right? Yeah. So you squat, you do all this stuff, but there's clearly a conditioning issue. They need to be strong and conditioned. So by doing the Supermans every day, you're not going to really add much strength to your back. You're going to add condition.
Well, and I think what happened yesterday, I went into my stretch a little cold yesterday, and that might have something to do with it too. So that might
could as well. Yeah. That's why I always recommend like the protocol that I give for stretching. If you train your chest, right when you're done, spend 2, 3, 4 minutes stretching your chest. It's broken down. It's warm. You can tug on it. You're not going to hurt it.
Yes.
And that's when you get the most out of your stretching.
Yeah. Well, the irony or coincidence, however you want to put it, we're talking spotting in this kind of conversation, Chase. This is great. So there, Uncle Keith got himself a little bit, got himself a little flummoxed so we can have a real life experience and expertise conversation this morning. Hey guys, you guys can join the live conversation. I see you out there, Sullivan. I see you out there. Good time. Good morning, Lauren, baby. Making her way through her snooze alarm this morning, Johnny. You guys can join the live conversation this morning, 431-300-3005. I know Drew will be calling in the second hour. Or you guys can join us in the Mornings in the Lab community. It is right here on the Mornings in the Lab channel, and there is a video out there. Sullivan talks about it. We dropped down there for the Superman. So if you guys want to know how to do the Superman, you guys can find it in the Mornings in the Lab community. Good morning, Holroyd. I see you up there as well, and good morning, Lady Drew Bozier, as well as B Drive. What is shaking, Bernard? Did you hear your name called out in some of the videos we're making? I hope you did. Jimmy, what are we talking about today?
Hey Keith, what are we talking about in the lab today? You know I'm still stuck in Bermuda with Tommy, and I need something to keep me sane, man.
Speak for yourself.
Got a few things on the agenda here today, guys. We're going to get about, we're going to talk gym spotting. We're going to talk unlocking hips at home, some three some hip movements. We're going to get into some bro science myths later on today. And I'm going to kick off our conversation right now with Mr. Andersen about cannabis and the brain superpower or slowdown. And I know we've joked about this before, but have you seen the headlines claiming cannabis users have enhanced cognitive abilities? Well, John, I'm telling you, man. It might be the magic potion for some of us. A new UK biobank study suggests just that better memory, faster reaction times, even younger brain patterns. But before you start rolling, the full story gets complicated and a lot more interesting. Jimmy, let's run this little clip, man.
Jimmy, where are you, babe?
What if everything you think you know about optimizing your brain is based on studies that measured the wrong thing entirely? We're living in an era of information overload where every week brings a new breakthrough study promising to revolutionize how we think about health and performance. But how do we separate genuine insights from cleverly marketed headlines designed to grab attention? When evaluating any health or performance claim, look for the sample size, the definition of terms, and most importantly, what contradictory research exists. Your competitive advantage is in the details others skip. Let's build that advantage right now.
Study with almost 38,000 participants and found cannabis users did better on several. That's right, Tom Ritchie. That's it, Tom Ritchie. I see you there, brother. 38,000 participants found cannabis users did better on several cognitive tasks.
Dude, 30, you know, the big fucking 38,000, how fucking big of a test that is? Jesus Christ. That's fucking massive.
Well, think about this. I'm actually glad you said that. So every single month, we've been, right now we're at about 30. So every single month, we're at about 32,000, 33,000 a month listening to our show. Our videos, our shorts, right about an audience of about 30,000.
And really quick, brother, I just want to put a quick insert in there.
Yeah.
I remember when we were talking about, and you said it on the air too.
Yeah.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
Nobody showed up.
Yeah.
We're a year and change into this. 30,000 people showed up. That's the power of showing up, baby.
That's it, brother. So think about a stadium, 30,000 people in a stadium. To your point, that's a lot of people. Right. So this study here, Richie, ears up, man. The study found that cannabis users did better on several cognitive tasks. And had brain network features linked to younger brains, but users included anyone who had ever tried cannabis even once. Now, here's some of the results that I want to show up here. So, where is it here? What the hell is it? A 45-year study found long-term users lost an average of 5.5 IQ points by midlife. It showed that where the hell's my notes here? Hold on a second here. I'm just messing this whole thing up here in front of
Well, you know, I was just gonna say, brother, I mean, you're a classic example. Like, use the two of us. You're a classic example of how it really betters your creative process, even your productivity process. For me, I don't know if it's just a mental thing, but when I smoke some dope, it's like it's like I've always used it as a separator. Like, I need to fucking turn off. Let's fucking smoke some dope. That makes sense.
It is,
and
because
so it's almost like a premeditated position. I'm going to get everything done. I'm not expecting anything of myself other than to fucking potentially go to sleep.
Well, I found another study, actually. It might have been this one. It's all on me here. Melissa, Jimmy, this is not you guys. This is me here, just in my words here. It wasn't as clear as I had wanted to make it for myself. The study is showing that it really there's a number of things going on in us as human beings. How cannabis affects older humans versus younger humans, CBD effects, and I do have more of this data I'm going to throw on the table because I butchered this one up, but I do want to come back to this one in the future because I kind of find it fascinating because how it does affect people very, very differently as they go through life. I got a bunch of things I want to throw on the table. I'm going to put that one aside. Jimmy, let's get to the sorry guys, just kind of
real quick on the weed thing. You want me to tell kind of a funny?
Yeah, I do.
Pulling my pants down a little bit, but I'm past it now. But it fucking troubled me for a long time.
Yes.
This was like really fucked me up for probably at least a decade. So in school, we're getting the teachers giving us the talk. We're probably, I don't know, fucking second grade, first grade, just old enough to understand all this shit. Don't take candy from a stranger.
Yeah.
Don't drink alcohol, and marijuana will kill you.
Yes.
Whatever the fuck they were saying. Right. And going around the room, well, my dad smokes, Marlboros, okay, well, Jimmy, that's okay. That's legal, and everybody's like, well, thank God my parents don't smoke marijuana. Of course, in those days, everybody was fucking smoking marijuana. So I said, my dad doesn't smoke marijuana. He smokes grass. The fucking teacher says, looking back, the teacher should have had a little more couth. Well, John, grass is another term for marijuana. And all of a sudden it was like, dude, it was like somebody fucking dumped a cold bucket of water over my fucking head.
Oh,
because
my goodness.
This is your parents, right? You're just all of a sudden now your parents, kind of funny. I can almost feel it right now. But that was because, can you imagine all of a sudden you're being told that something's, not right. And all of a sudden you somehow all of a sudden realize that you're fucking one of your parents. And it was happening all the time. He used to smoke around me all the time. He didn't use the word marijuana. Thought that was going to do it.
Clint Rock, the irony is not lost upon me as well, brother. I'm sitting here with my notes in front of me and I'm like a little bit stumbling on. Here we go. So the Jammin Network, Johnny, reported heavy users, 1,000+ lifetime users, smoked or consumer cannabis.
Hey, so my story gave you the time to get back on track.
That's exactly.
Come on, baby. Come on.
It's a good partner. It's a good conversation, brother. Showed reduced brain activity in memory-related regions. However, a 45-year study found long-term users lost an average of 5.5 IQ points by midlife. So in theory, I should be 5.5 IQ points dumber. And then
but how many points does someone lose just for fucking living the dumb life that they normally live?
Well, I got something to say to you about the average man. You gave me some confidence yesterday with some things you've been talking about. I'm thinking, I'm going to say that to somebody. And then age matters. Because I did say it to somebody yesterday, actually. Younger adults show stronger memory impairments, while some older adults may see neuroprotective benefits at low THC doses. And many deficits fade after just 3+ days of abstinence, pointed to short-term intoxication rather than permanent decline. So the reality is this.
God damn it. Sorry, I just burned myself with my cigar.
Our age is
That was a doozy, man.
What the fuck is going on with this show today?
Did you hear me wince like a little girl?
Can you just burp or fart right now too, just to put a fucking a T on the whole? So we got a guest coming up here. I got to tell you something funny. We got a guest coming up. We reach out to him to invite him on the show. He's like, "Hey, with all respect, I think you might not be real." I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm cutting the grass right now. Of course,
might not be real. What do you mean? Not?
Yeah, well, it's funny because he thought we might just do some cold call outreach and I get this long big message like, well, I'm with all respect, I get asked to go on a lot of shows and I don't know, you might be real, and I'm out cutting the grass and I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I pulled up my phone and I shot him a video. I'm like, dude, I'm real, dude. Ronnell, I'm real. I'm fucking real. And I'm right in front of you here, brother. And you got John Andersen, who's real as well. So we're looking forward to having Ronnell Richards, the guy who says, well, he's a sales dude, and he's got a big slogan: shut up and sell. Ronnell Richards joining us in a few moments here in the lab. Coming up here. Hey, John. So Jimmy and Melissa, I'm way off track on our time this morning, but that's okay. We're gonna get through the whole thing, which is pretty fun. Before we bring Ronnell Richards in, I do want to, Jimmy, I want to get this one because this one's fucking really cool, man. So, John, I got a scenario with you, man. You're not going to go fly a couple of airplanes, and I'm going to say, Andersen, we're going to get into an airplane, and as we get to a certain height, I'm going to jump out of my airplane, and you're going to jump out of your airplane, and I'm going to land in yours, and you're going to land in mine, and we're going to land. And we're going to do it over the desert of Arizona. And you're going to say, really, motherfucker? I go, yeah, we're going to try that out. What do you think of that?
I would love to know the intricacies of the plan.
Well,
So you said the jump out part. Okay, I'm with that. My first thought is I need an extra heavy duty fucking harness, right? But then I'm thinking, okay, jump back into your airplane. I'm thinking I don't know how I'm going to negotiate that one.
Well, two Red Bull pilots in Arizona decided
I can see that. I could see the trained stuntman be able to do that shit. I could totally see
to do just this. Now, Jim, if you have the video, man, let's run that while we're talking. Check this out, man.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Check this out. So these two guys, two stuntmen, they this is fascinating to me, man. They jumped out of their airplanes, and their plan was to jump and then to get into each other's airplane. Well, unfortunately, I guess if it landed, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And
no shit. One of the planes crashed.
yeah, now they lived. Everybody lived. One guy got into the other plane, but the other guy, his plane got into some kind of free roll and he wasn't able to get it into control. So one plane crashed, the other guy parachuted to the ground, but one guy landed. But all in all, what a fucking cool story, man. Like, Jesus, Murphy. Like, that's, you talk about, so here's the, and I guess, the root of the story was they lost their licenses, Red Bulls disowned them and so forth. But, I don't know if there's a lesson in any of that. I just thought it was interesting, and I pride myself in creating good content for conversation.
When I saw something similar where some influencer basically went up in an airplane, had some sort of camera on him, and just fucking bailed out and let the plane go crash.
Oh, yeah.
He got in big fucking trouble too.
Dude, remember how you and I grew up with like all the stuntmen, especially like when CGI and like like all this Hollywood wizardry really wasn't where it is today. Remember remember like all this, like we grew up watching movies and those stuntmen were doing like the real stunts, like the Evil Knievel's of the world.
Yeah, remember Lee Majors?
I was just going to say, the fall guy, Lee Majors. Yeah, Steve Austin.
I love that guy.
You and me both. Yeah, I loved Heather Thomas, who was part of the fall guy with Lee Majors as well. Not the Locklear, the Thomas. I had that poster in my room. The pink bikini on it. Long blonde hair. Not that I remember.
I wasn't, there was no posters of females in my room.
I had it next to the Arnold Schwarzenegger poster I had in my room.
Yeah, I had to go. Colleges where I was able to start doing that. They didn't want us. Well, I shouldn't say that. When I changed rooms to downstairs, where guests could easily get to my room, it was a different set of rules than when I was upstairs.
Nicely done, Ronnell Richards. I see you there in the green room. He's coming up in a few moments. Jimmy, Jimmy and Melissa, you guys give me a prompt when he's ready to go, and we'll bring him up here to the lab here. We're gonna get, while we're getting after, we need some current event topics here. Jimmy, if you want to get into a current event transition, we'll do that before we bring in Ronnell. I'm not sure. I don't see if I see Ronnell here on the vertical. If so, Jimmy, let's get it. Let's get the transition happening, and let's get after it. I'm waiting to see some chatter here on my screen, and I'm not seeing it from my two crew here. Hey, Johnny, you watch.
What if the man who trained over 100,000 students is telling salespeople to shut up and actually listen? Ronnell Richards, author of Shut the Hell Up and Sell, built multiple seven-figure companies by doing the opposite of what sales gurus preach. While others flex and hustle harder, he proved that relationship-centric selling outperforms aggressive tactics every single time. Start your next conversation by asking one genuine question, and then, here's the revolutionary part, actually listen to the entire answer. Your authenticity is your competitive advantage. Stop performing and start connecting.
All right, we got Ronnell Richards joining us here. He's a sales strategist, founder and CEO of Ronnell Richards LLC, LinkedIn learning instructor, serial entrepreneur, technology channel top 500. He's the author of Shut the Hell Up. Jimmy, Melissa, let's bring in Ronnell Richards this morning.
You know what? I don't know if you guys are just old as shit or I am too, but the references, the Fall Guy reference.
That ages us real quick, doesn't it, bro?
And not only did it age you, you lost like half your audience. But you got me. You got me. Because I'm on some Lee Majors too.
Dude, hold on a second.
$1 million man.
Dude, I think our audience embraced that. They're like, fuck yes. Yeah, they were like, I'm an old fucker. I'm an old fucker too.
I hold on. I'm a little bit confused though. Because I saw your image and I saw you sitting in the green room. And there's by fucking no means you look like you're the same age as Keith Billis and John Andersen. I'm 53. Andersen's 53. You cannot be the same age as Johnny and I. I'm going to give you 10, 15 years younger than us.
Yeah. How old are you, brother?
49.
Oh, you're in the house. You know, without the little bit of gray here, I could have gone way younger, dude.
Me too.
That's what the Just for Men's for. So, you know, I always throw a little Just for Men and, you know, I get another 10 years.
Dude, you're aging handsomely. So, okay, so then we can talk Lee Majors and Fall Guy and the $1 billion man, and we can talk all that ridiculous Gen X bullshit. Hey, how are you, pal? Where are you joining us from today?
You said, how am I doing today?
Yeah, I'm where are you joining us from today?
Dude, I'm in Atlanta,
Nice.
Georgia. And
one of my favorite cities, dude.
why is that?
Oh, it's fucking fast, bro. You come in there, it's kind of like a Eastern version of Vegas.
Yeah, it's I think that
A lot of hip hop culture there too.
Great hip hop culture.
I think we pop culture and television gives us kind of a bad rap. That's why I always ask people, because what they see of Atlanta is not necessarily, it's part of it, but it's not necessarily like our Atlanta. Our Atlanta is super diverse. Our Atlanta is just, man, I love the city. Like, I don't know anywhere else that I'd want to live.
Well, you got to go in person, experience it. You can't make a judgment unless you've been there.
And you got to get out of downtown.
Yes.
If you're just downtown, you're not seeing that. My guy's got the cigar and everything. I'm loving this. So Ronnell Richards, we reached out to you, and I'll be honest, man. Keith, you threw shade at me. I heard that. Yeah,
I know. I throw shade at all my brothers on the show who are coming on, whether you're white, black, green, female, male, whatever gender. If you're coming into the lab, we're gonna have some fun with you, brother. But I got to have some fun with you, man. I reached out to invite you on the show. You're like, I'm like, what? And I was serious. I was all cutting my grass. I sent you the video, and I grabbed my phone and I responded immediately to you. So now that you had a little sniff, are you welcome? Are you glad you've so far chosen to hang out with me and John so far?
Oh, 100%. But see, there's a lesson in that.
Yes.
And so not only is there a lesson in it, I used you to teach a lesson to my Substack community. Because I get tons of shit DMs.
Yeah.
So much so that I created a course called Shitty DMs. Yeah. So what I used to, I just don't have the time for it anymore. But what I used to do is I used to take DMs and I'd anonymize them and all that. But I'd take DMs that were like really shitty. And break them down and say, look, this is why they're shitty and this is how we can do it better. Yeah. And so I'm very sensitive to it, because as a sales guy, like, this is the medium that we use to
what you use. Yes.
Yeah. And so like when people do it right, oh man, I give them tons of kudos. I always respond. And talking about your direct message to me, I could have just been like, fuck this guy. Yeah. Keep it moving, right? But but what did I do? So I know you threw a little shade, but what did I do? I sent you an audio. I said, hey, listen, Keith, like, hey, I just want, are you for real? Whatever, And then your response, you one up me, you motherfucker.
I sent you a video response. Yeah, I did. I was like, it's funny because I thought about
he loves to send those videos, man. He sends those videos. He's good at that.
Well, it's funny, Johnny, because I got the audio message and Ronnell, you're absolutely right, man. I was like, well, if he's going to send me an audio message, he's wondering if I'm real, I'm going to fucking send him a video message from my backyard with my grass cutter. So I knew I got you because you saw it and I saw your response and I can see the connection there. And I was like, but what did we learn from that? I guess I hope not learn, but for me, the message was very much that I know you judged the book by its cover, and I loved that you did. Because I love when people judge the book by its cover, and then I invite them to walk over and give it a listen. And then they go, oh, I want to be a part of that. That's usually what happens with Keith and John.
Well, so that may be the lesson that you take from it, but I go a little bit of a different direction, because this is what I do for a living, right? Teaching people how to be effective in their sales outreach. And so it's all about intention and understanding that human connection is what's most important, and leveraging the tools that we have at our disposal to communicate at a deeper level. You feel me? So like your video, like I teach that shit. Personal video. And I'm an ambassador for 2 companies that do personal video. So you hit a trigger with me, because I've sent thousands of personal videos, but it's a fantastic tool for us to connect deeper with people. Like, you got to understand when I'm teaching sellers, I say, listen, as a decision maker, when I'm looking at the shit ton of direct messages and emails, I'm not looking to say, okay, I like this. I'm looking to disqualify you. Right. That's what we do. Yes. So like, because we're all fucking busy. So like, if I'm looking at those direct messages and I'm not looking to say, hey, this guy I want to do business with, this guy, I'm looking to say, okay, let me get, what shit can I get rid of? Right. And so we have to be intentional with how we send messages to make sure that we're thinking about how people are going to receive that shit. And so one of the things that I teach this concept called the 3 W's, which is real simple. It's, hey, when you reach out, you got to communicate 3 things. And I prefer it on LinkedIn to be audio or video, but you got to communicate three things. Who are you, what you do, and what's in it for me? Meaning the person on the other end you're sending the message to. What's that alignment? Why should I care? Right. And then there's the call to action.
Yeah. And what do they get?
Simple, because like, you got to respect people's time. Like, you know what I hate the worst? Is the motherfucker that sends me a direct message.
Do you think it does? Do you think it does any good for you to hate something?
What do you mean?
Do you think it does? Do you think it helps you to hate something?
Oh, I think that was just a figure of speech. Not
I don't think my man is hanging on hate. That's why I had to point it out.
Yeah. Oh no. I am very passionate, and I'm very I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm passionate.
You know what's awesome, Ronnell? I got to come with you.
Taking a little too literal.
No, but this is good, Ronnell. I'll tell you something. So I met John about 1.5 years ago. He was a guest on my show. I started to sing, and we started hanging out, and the guys left. Now we're partners in this thing. We're growing this company. I used to use the word hate often, and what I mean by it is I hated this or hated that. It would be a way that I would express myself. Yep. But I mean something really truthfully, and I hope you'll take something from this. Just through the rechoicing of words, I've recognized that when I use that word, it puts negative energy in a space that I have no desire to put it there. And I'm like, there's a different way to rephrase that, which still gets my message across, but keeps my mindset in a better direction. So I know
that's right. It's all about our own mindsets. The way that we appreciate
that. So John, rephrase that for me.
I dislike. There's just anything. I mean, there's 1,000. I get what you're saying with hate.
Yeah. So
it's just the idea of saying like when you say I can't, you say that shit too much. That gets inside your psyche. I choose not to will work. Right. I really dislike it when someone does this. Man, it frustrates me when somebody does this. But when hate is a pretty deep rooted word that is going to attract negativity, whether you like it or not.
And I think subconsciously move you in a direction that I know I'm fucking loving your energy. You, like me, use that word because you're passionate, but I think as you're reframing it in your mind going, wait a minute, I can turn this on the fucking head and I can find some positive energy in that word. So not to berate that. We're hanging out with Ronnell Richards this morning, a serial entrepreneur, LinkedIn learning instructor, and the man who literally wrote the book on why most people, John, need to shut the fuck up. While other guys are flexing their Lamborghinis and telling you to hustle harder, Ronnell's over there building an empire by telling sellers to listen more and talk less. Ronnell. I love that, man. I love that. And there's something else I really, really love, man. You started working in your parents' business as a kid. What was your parents' business, Ronnell?
Oh, they have multiple, but my parents owned a beauty supply and salon in Ogden, Utah.
Yeah.
And they opened the very first beauty supply for the African-American community in that area. And so, yeah, I mean, I learned so much, man. I mean,
it's no surprise you're successful, and based on what just that statement alone, there's no surprise that you're having the success you've had, because if you watched your parents do it,
100%. I mean, it's Keith, it was even more than that. Kids learn a lot from the environment that they're in. Yeah. But beyond that, my parents were very intentional. My dad specifically. I learned things at a young age that most people just didn't, right? I didn't grow up in a house where I had a lot of toys. In fact, I can probably remember the toys that most people can't do that I can remember.
That's actually really
what
special.
I did have. We're all around the same age.
Yeah.
So this will resonate with you guys. I had a computer since the time I was 5.
Oh,
Think about that.
Shit. But the computers in those days, dude, I mean, it was basically like a word processor.
Was it a VIC-20, a Commodore 64? What was it, brother? A TRS-80 from Radio Shack? What was it?
Yeah, so I had a Commodore. That was the first one.
Dude, I can't fucking believe you guys remember the name of this
these
shit.
little, back then there was always these companies that built PCs. So
yes,
my dad we always had a PC. I didn't have toys. I didn't have a lot of other shit, but I had a PC when awesome. no one had it. I had encyclopedias, dating myself.
Yes.
These are things my dad
shit,
taught me. I did my first resume when I was like 8. Like my dad he was very intentional, and I don't know where the hell he got it from.
Dude, he's basically having you invest your time in shit that mattered.
Fucking rights, man.
I think what I'll say about my parents is they knew, what I was going to be up against if I was going to be successful. And so they just tried their best to prepare me for a world that isn't necessarily accepting of people like me all the time.
Yeah.
You got to have something inside of you that drives you. You got to have something, when those outside motivators and drivers aren't there. So I'll tell you what it built in me. It built in me this ridiculous level of like confidence. And times when there's no way in the world I should have been that confident, but you know what? My mom thinks I'm the shit, and my dad, dad is drove this success and drove this mindset. So like no one else can tell me nothing.
Do you have kids for now?
I do, 2.
How many kids do you have?
2.
How old are they?
23 and 22. You want to know about my kids?
Hold on, John. I'm gonna make a prediction. What are your kids' names, if I can ask?
Langston and Alana.
I'm gonna predict, John, that Langston and Alana are going to be movers and shakers. Their success is already inevitable to me. Like I've known Ronnell for 18 minutes now. It's more than clear to me that his kid's success, however you want to frame that, is inevitable based on the 18 minutes we spent with Ronnell so far.
I appreciate you saying that. I'll agree with you, and here's why.
Yeah, tell us.
I took what my parents gave to me and use that as kind of like a foundation for how I raise my kids. And here's what I view success to be: freedom of thought. My kids grew up in a house where we didn't do shit just to do it. We didn't do shit because tradition said to do something. We did things because this is what we believe in. Now, my kids, as they're young adults now, they're probably going to go and do some shit that I wouldn't do. But they're going to do it eyes open. They're going to do it because it is their decision and not because, society says do this or.
Brother, I got a phrase that I said to my kids.
To be on the outside.
Check this out, brother. I got a phrase that I'd said to my kids over and over and over. It kind of sums up what you're talking about. And I just said, listen. And I said this to them when they were too young to understand it. I just wanted it in their heads. You need to choose your life or life will choose you.
Yep.
If life chooses you, you are not going to be happy.
That's a good point. I like that.
And your kids chose their life, clearly. They're doing something you wouldn't do, but they chose. Like I said, look, if you want to bag groceries, if you're passionate about doing flips with cans of soup, bagging groceries, and that makes you have to go bag groceries. Yeah. But it's your choice. You do what makes you happy. I want you to focus on something that when you do something because you like it, the money will follow.
Yeah. Well, there's another level to that. And I think a responsibility, at least that I embrace. I'm not saying that everyone has to embrace it, but it's a responsibility that I embrace. Life takes over. Okay. And so we tell folks, hey, listen, pursue something that you're passionate about, that you can get behind and all that sort of thing. And I said the same thing to my kids with the caveat. They are raised in an entrepreneur household. Yeah. Right. So I always wanted them to pursue what they want to do, what their heart tells them what they want to do. But with the education that comes with entrepreneurship, to knowing that shit, you can take anything and make a business out of it and make a living out of it. Right. So there's that. The second thing is the support to get there. And so my kids both graduated college here in December, right? My daughter,
congratulations,
with honors. Thank you. With honors. My daughter is pursuing her master's right now. My son is working for a sports analytics company. Because that's his passion. But here's the thing, like, they need my support and our support along the way to get there. Because here's what happens. I've seen it, and y'all have seen it too. And people that, they want to pursue those things that they love, but life gets in the way, right? Like, oh shit, I got student loans to pay back. Let me go
Dude, we were fucking cut from the same cloth, because your story is so fucking aligning with what I did.
Really?
It's crazy. Oh my God. I want to hear the rest of it, but I mean, I'll share the similarities in a second, but it's fucking crazy.
So my son, I'm in my home office, and my son has walked down about 15 minutes ago to go to work, right down in the office that he has set up in here. And that's the way I want it for him for now. Like, he's building his career. He's getting, so, I don't want him to get distracted by the bullshit, the trappings and all that stuff. Cause I did, just being fully transparent. I did. I don't want him to be distracted by that. I want him to be in a position to where he can put in the time and the work in that thing that he's passionate about, so he can see that success that he's looking for on the other end. Same thing with my daughter.
Totally, brother. 100%. And I said to my kids the same thing. I said, look, if you're pursuing what you want to do, and you're truly pursuing it, twofold. I mean, when you go to college, if you continue to pursue and you're having a struggle, I'll like, for example, I pay for their cars, because a car payment alone can distract them enough. Oh, well, I have to make this money, so I can't pursue my fucking dream. Right. And then the second part was when you get out of college, if you get on this course, I purposely made sure there was a VIG left over. There was a bill that had to be paid. Not too much, 30 grand, which is a fucking drop in the bucket.
I've been in a conversation with someone that said VIG, but I love it. Go ahead. Sorry,
but just a small amount, compared to what the shit costs. But if you stay on that path, I will pay off the debt. I will pay the car. I'll pay the cell phone bill. I pay all the shit that's needed to keep them to where they can stay focused on what you're talking about. So it's crazy, brother. Same it's like, it's the same story, just different series of adjectives to describe it.
I love it.
Ronnell Richards joining us from Atlanta today. Ronnell, let's get into some of the pro talk, man. You have a book that tells people to shut the hell up. When was the moment in your career where you realized that talking less was actually your secret weapon, Ronnell?
Oh man, it took a long time. And let me tell you why, because I'm a very talented orator, and you can see a lot of success in sales, in business, by wowing and dazzling people with your ability to articulate things, right? And so it probably not until I started my first company back in 2005 to where it really started to click for me, because before that, like, I'm working for companies, pardon me, go in, do my thing. And what I learned through the process of, just growth and education is that oftentimes, not often, all the time, when I sat down with the prospect, my mindset was that I'm a warrior. Like, I'm coming in here, I'm going to dominate them. I'm going to win this. It was a competition and I needed to win. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of sales training teaches people. Like, you got to have quick rebuttals. They say this, you say that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like this battle of wills. But, when I went from a company, I went from a small company, went to work for AT&T just before I started my company. And when I made that transition, I thought that I was going to take all of my clients that were at the smaller company and take them with me to AT&T. And what I found is that they didn't go. And I was like, why? How? Like, I went in there, I sold them, they're happy. Why? Well, what I learned is that I didn't really know them. I didn't really get to take credit for the service or anything that was provided to them, because I just went in there and I sold them and dipped out. Right. So I really had no relationship, and I really didn't know much about them other than I sold them a product. And so this is all part of my story and part of learning the importance of like, hey, I have to have deeper relationships with the people that I'm sitting on the other side of the table with. And if I can't understand what they really care about, if I can't understand what really makes them tick, then I can't build those deeper relationships that are going to help you long term in your career. Because this is something that salespeople, especially younger salespeople, struggle with and are challenged with. They're on the hamster wheel every single month. Gotta go get new cooks, go good. And they don't get a lot of referrals. They don't get deeper share of wallet. They're just on that hamster wheel. And they're on the hamster wheel because they don't build those deeper relationships. So you have to diagnose that and say, okay, why? Why am I not building those deeper relationships? How do I do it better? Well, you do it better by understanding that their voice is more important than mine. I have to be much better at asking great questions and drilling down on those questions, asking clarifying questions to really get to the heart of what's going on in that person's world and what they care about, so that I have the foundation for building great solutions that impact them, not just, their business, but that person, right? So I'm giving you guys, like, I'm distilling a whole bunch of stuff down into like a 1 minute sound bite. But the bottom line is that through growing my own companies and my own personal experience, it just became very clear to me that a massive gap is that we're just not, as salespeople, we're not good enough at listening. But here's the thing. We all know that, right? Everybody knows that. Here's the problem. You can know it, but if there's no instruction, how are you going to execute it? Like, I can say, hey, listen, Keith, it's good for you to just listen more. And you say, okay, cool. And then you get in a conversation and you're emotional, and your emotions take over, and you want to talk, and but you're excited. Well, how do you stop that? So in my book, I talk about the psychology and my philosophy around why it's important to do these things. That's the first half of it. Then the second half is the tactical execution. Okay, now that we understand, it's probably a good idea for me to talk less. Well, how the hell do I do it? Okay, here's how you do it in the course of a meeting so that you can stay focused. Does that make sense, guys?
100%. Ronnell Richards joining us from Atlanta. Author of Shut the Hell Up and Sell. He's a LinkedIn learning instructor with over 100,000 students, serial entrepreneur, technology channel. I got the accent today, folks. Channel top 50 influencer, and he's the host of multiple success podcasts, including Business and Bourbon. Hey, Ronnell, we're wrapping up our time with you, man. That's 30 minutes has gone by pretty fast with us today. Is there some key message you want to leave for the audience? How can folks connect with you, find you, engage with you, do some work with you, Ronnell?
Hold on real quick. I just got to jump in here.
Please, Johnny. Yeah.
So, Ronnell, you got to realize this. Keith must have really taken a liking to you, because normally somebody on here that's got a book, he's drilling him about being a best fucking seller. Well, are you a best seller? That's his fucking thing. He loves it. He loves it. I think this is the first time it hasn't happened. So you must have pushed one of his heartstrings.
Oh my God. Well, that's awesome. Keith, I wish you would have asked that, only because I have an answer to it that probably most people aren't giving you.
You're not a best-selling.
I want to hear what's the answer, because I gave him an answer when he said that about my books.
You're not a best-selling author, are you?
So my journey to writing a book wasn't like a lot of people. Most of the time when people are getting into coaching and consulting, the first thing they do is say, okay, I'm going to write a book. I felt like 8 years ago that wasn't a medium for me at the moment, because I feel like I had so much more to offer and a way of communicating that I wanted to communicate using my strengths, right? Yeah. So we started podcasts, we did a lot of social media content and those things, so that people could really connect with who I am, the person, right? And be in or out. I don't give a shit if you're out.
This was definitely not the answer I was expecting, just so you know.
So, I know we're coming up on time, so I'll wrap it up. So that's how it started. I didn't set out to write a book. And then as the pandemic started, I'm like, you know what? I feel called to do this, because it was a different medium, a different way for me to serve my audience, right? And what I learned through the process is that, oh shit, this long form content was, first, it was really healing for me to be able to write this shit. And then two, like, it was received differently. Like our book did. You asked if my book's a bestseller? Fuck yeah, it is. In my community. Nice. I didn't really care about New York. I didn't do any of that shit to get the Wall Street Journal. No knock. That would have been awesome. But in the technology channel world, everyone knows my book. Everyone.
And that's when somebody like Keith comes along and says, "Hey, is it a bestseller?" You know what you say? Isn't everybody that writes a fucking book have a bestseller?
I love it. They do. It's hard to do.
Oh, Ronnell, I love you, man. Was it lost upon me that I may have not given Ronnell? I figured I gave enough grief, Johnny, to Ronnell while getting him on the show. I couldn't keep stabbing him with the book. Although I did welcome him in with some jokes, I will walk him out with some jokes. So for a man who says "shut the hell up and sell," he sure talks a lot in the last 30 minutes.
But I know when to shut the hell up.
Yeah, he goes, "I'm going to keep this to like a 1 minute soundbite, then talk for like 6 minutes."
I noticed.
To be clear, John, I'm looking at the clock. It was like a minute and a half, brother. Come on.
I'm just playing, baby. I'm just playing.
It's funny, Ronnell, because John and I got a 10-week course going on right now. We do it here live on the show about good conversations, because good conversations like a tennis match, right? It's a back and forth. It's a rally. It's a back and forth. And in the entertainment business, the last thing somebody wants to hear on the other side is just one person talking. Because you can imagine watching a tennis match and just Ronnell just hitting the ball to himself the whole time. People are tuning out, right? So we joke about it often when we have on the show, and John and I will talk often and go, "Yeah, that was a one-sided tennis match with that guest," because they just stood there and fucking rallied with themselves. So we like to have, but I will say something to you, pal, just straight up right here on the air in front of everybody. You got to stop your fucking podcast, because I got a question for you. And I'm just going to be straight with you.
This is the book. He left the book aside so we could do this. Now
because
John, now I understand it very clearly.
You're gonna love this one, because Ronnell doesn't strike me as an average man. So I do not know why the fuck you're being an average man with an average podcast. Because John Andersen and Keith Billis, we have a daily live show where we get in front of our audience every single day, because we're not average men. So for a man like yourself who has an average podcast, and you strike me as very much not an average man, I do not know why you do not have a show on the Mornings in the Lab Live network with us. Just saying. I'm just saying right now that, for somebody who strikes me as somebody who's above average, we should talk after Ronnell, because I can set you up.
I strike you as above average, because there's nothing average about me.
I love it, brother. I love it. Richard, you're awesome, man. We've had a lot of fun with you today. Looking forward to grabbing some coffee. But I'm being quite serious. Put the podcast away. You're 49. You get the next 10, 15 years of your life. Come start a live show on our network here. Come own the conversation and get after it. There you go.
I love to chat with you guys about that. I know we're at the top of the hour.
Yes.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for hosting me. And this was fun, man.
Yeah, bro. I had a lot of fun with
you too, energy, bro. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And I appreciate you too, brother. And I know sincerity is your superpower. I can tell. And I just want to close with this with lots of love. Your kids are set up for the ultimate success, not only because of you, but because of what you told us about your parents. And thank you for sharing that with us, Ronnell. These 30 minutes were quite meaningful to me. So I'm grateful, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, brother. You got a great energy and a great vibration. Yes. Keep spreading that shit. We need more
100%
like you.
I appreciate that.
All right. Yeah. All right, Jimmy, Melissa, we're going to walk Ronnell out of here. We're going to do a lifestyle tip with John Andersen. Then John's going to do a little break. I know he's probably a little tight there. So we're going to do that. And then we'll come back, reset hour 2, and get into some conversation, brother. So let's do it.
That was Ronnell Richards shutting down bro sales culture. Now John Andersen's up with a lifestyle tip you don't want to miss.
Tip 1, don't hold in your burps.
All right, let's rock. Ask yourself a question. You want to be an average man? If you do, perfect. Keep on doing what you're doing. If you want to be more, if you want to be extraordinary, if you're tired of being an average man, then the answer is very simple. Stop doing average shit. What is average shit? Let's define that. It's the shit that pretty much everybody else does. So our world is split up into 2 different clubs. it's about 87. The number's growing, but we'll call it 87% average. And about 13%, that's not. So look at the 87%. What are they doing? Are you doing what they're doing? Are you hitting the snooze? Are you saying tomorrow? Are you going through the drive-through? Are you doing the things that the average man does that's keeping him average? And if you are, and that's where you want to stay, good for you. You're on track. If you want more, start simple. You can either remove or add one thing per day. You're going to remove something that's average, put something in that's extraordinary, that's basically going to take you to the next level. But really what it comes down to is you understanding if you want more, if you're tired of being average, you need to stop doing average shit. An extraordinary life requires extraordinary daily actions. Rock and roll.
Hour 1 is in the books. Now it is time for hour 2. Fitness, straight from our Bermuda gym.
Gym dues, 1 coconut per month.
Coming up, Graw, the hidden rules of spotters, hip tests every man should try, and busting bro science myths wide open.
Myth number 1, Frankie thinks we're flying home tonight.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yes, welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. It's time for hour 2. This is where the sweat shows up. We just wrapped up hour 1 with Ronnell Richards. Dude, I love that guy. Love that guy's energy. I swear he might have been like, I think he was lying about his age. Nation, I think he was lying about his age. I'm not convinced he was 49. I'm going to give him 39, maybe 35. I don't know. The guy's Ronnell Richards, invited back. Welcome back here anytime. Guys, we're kicking off with the hidden rules of gym spotters because nobody wants to be the dude who yanks the bar at the wrong time and ruins the whole set. And then we're going to see if your hips are unlocked or if you're basically walking around like the Tin Man. 3 quick at-home tests that will tell the truth real fast. And after that, we're going to challenge some classic bro science myths, the lies men still believe, even though the science has been clowning them for years. And we're going to finish strong in the community corner and so forth here on hour 2. We got a couple guys, Dale and Phillip, with 2 Ps because apparently 1 P just wasn't enough. So Dale and Phillip with 2 Ps. We're going to celebrate them in the community corner here on the show. I'm going to get to the comments here in a few moments, guys. I see you've been active here on the vertical stream here. You guys can join the live show here by joining Mornings in the Lab by hitting on 431-300-3005. We've got Grok as well joining us in the conversation. I have not brought Grok in. We'll bring Grok in a little bit later into the show. And to those of you that are watching the show not live, I invite you to come see us in the Mornings in the Lab community where we keep the conversation going after the show. We got content in there. We drop some special stuff. We dropped the Superman. So if you guys heard the first hour of the show here, we dropped some stuff on there about how to do the Superman and so forth. All right, and then I'm gonna revisit a few topics I did not get to at the top of the first hour. But I see Johnny's back here. Dude, I really enjoyed Ronnell Richards, man. He has some good energy, eh?
Yeah, he was a cool cat. You know, I felt like he had some cool shit to say.
He did, yeah. And
that's what we need. We need people coming on here that are going to share shit that is inspiring to those that are listening.
I love that he said, though, and you said it too, and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep it to 1 minute. 4 minutes later.
Well, you know, it's kind of crazy. A lot of times, a minute can be like forever, or it can be gone in just a flash.
Oh my God.
Depends on are you enjoying what you're doing or not.
Yeah.
If your interest is there, that minute is fast.
Well, and I think you've seen this too, because we both have seen it on the show. We get guests in the room with us, and we get into a fun environment. And I think what happens often is they get onto the show and it goes live, and I think there's some nerves. And I think the best way to combat nerves is you just talk, right? We talk, right? That's how we combat nerves. And then that 1 minute turns to 4 minutes of rambling, and it's like, oh, right. So, but Ronnell was a great fit, man. Great energy, great advice. And like I said, not surprised at all when he talked about his dad. I was like, oh yeah, I know this guy's successful. And that's when I asked him if he had kids. When he said yes, His kid's success is predetermined, man. Just like yours and mine.
You're programmed. It's like my kids the same way. I used to get them up when the middle one went into junior high. Right. They're both actually all of my girls had social issues. I don't know what it's. I don't know, because they were privileged, because it was me, but they got to do a lot of shit that the other kids didn't get to do.
Yeah,
I think that was part of the problem.
Okay.
But either way, middle school is when the social pressure really goes sky high, right?
Yes.
So what I would do is I had to make the little one do it too. Really, I only needed to do it to the middle. Anyway, I would get them up and I would take them on like a 20-minute run, so that they were basically in this really good mental state, be able to get to go and deal with the social pressure of school.
Oh yeah.
And they so disliked it.
Yeah.
Looking back, they're like, they see all the shit that we did that was, very outside the box. And now they see the value in it. Like they're just run circles around people at, their age bracket.
Yeah. Awesome. Hanging out with Keith and John here this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and John, 8 o'clock Eastern time, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. I see your question down there. Table Walk Lakes. You guys ever take L-tyrosine? L-tyrosine is it a peptide or is it a?
I'm having a brain fart at the moment.
I know it. It's on the top.
Ask Grok.
Hey Grok, what's L-tyrosine? I thought it's an amino acid, isn't it? Grok, what's L-tyrosine?
I'm having a brain fart at the moment.
You're spot on, Keith. It's an amino acid.
Yeah.
L-tyrosine helps make neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine, which can boost focus and mood, especially under stress. Some folks take it as a supplement for mental clarity or to handle high-pressure situations, but the science is mixed on how much it really does. You feeling a brain fog or just curious about it for the show?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so, I figure it's an amino acid, Johnny.
A lot of times what happens is amino acids like this, even like in the peptide world, they don't make it past the stomach.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Speaking of peptides, a little segue here. I'm going to kind of go back and forth here. Melissa, Jimmy, just some heads up, guys, in the next 15 minutes. I'll kind of go back and forth here on a few things. Speaking of peptides, Johnny, peptides, RNA, and sulfur. A surprising recipe that perhaps birthed life on Earth. Now, some would say God made Earth, some would say science made Earth, some might say that peptides, RNA, and sulfur. So imagine standing at the edge of a steaming hot pool 4 billion years ago, before plants, even bacteria, and watching lifeless chemicals beginning to spark into the building blocks of life. Well, today, John, scientists may have solved how the spark actually happened. And if we can understand how amino acids and RNA came together at the dawn of time, it doesn't just explain where we came from. It may actually guide how we think about life beyond Earth. So I found it fascinating because, we talk peptides here often, right? And people would be curious, what are peptides? Well, it's those little messengers in between the creation it's the messengers in between our body. It's connecting all the tissues, it's driving traffic.
Well, in many cases, it's actually restoring.
There you go. Yes.
Because if you go far enough back before we got exposed to all this fucked up shit, our systems were running much more efficiently. And then we fuck them up. The peptides are going in there. It's like restoration.
There you go. Yeah. So the breakthrough University College London scientists showed how peptides, the building blocks of proteins, could naturally form when RNA molecules meet sulfur-based compounds like pentathenine. So again, why I thought this was fascinating, because you talk about peptides with us as human beings. Well, we're talking about peptides creating the creation of life. So there's that continuity that it's the building blocks of protein. So folks that are curious about peptides, it's the building blocks of protein. It's the messengers that make it all happen. So it's there's certainly some.
Well, remember, I start off the show saying I got such a whopping night's sleep, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's peptide related, because ultimately, excuse me, because ultimately, when we go to sleep, our bodies, when we're younger, especially, released growth hormone in a fairly good amount, different pulses, and that was a signal for us to go to sleep. That actually triggered the body to sleep so that we can repair.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, as those pulses become less, the signal of going to sleep becomes less. So I've been kind of playing with different secretagogues.
Yes.
And different dosages. And last night, boy, I hit the nail on the head, boy.
Nice.
I fell asleep at I was probably dead asleep at 8 o'clock. And when I woke up, I thought for sure, I was like, holy shit, did my alarm not go? Of course, I knew that wasn't the case, but I was like, God, I feel fucking good. Like, whoa. And then I looked at the clock. I'm like, holy shit, deep sleep. I mean, when you get into really good deep sleep, you don't need as much. It's pretty crazy.
Yes. Yeah. No, I hear you. Hey, did you grow up watching Sesame Street? I did.
Yeah. I was just actually talking to my brothers about that, because they were so much older. They babysit me a lot. The one that I watched the most, I used to call it the Lalas, which was a show called Banana Split.
I remember the Lalas. Yes.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I know that, on a show like we do, when we're talking peptides and jerking off and masturbation and life expectancy work, you wouldn't typically think we'd be talking about Sesame Street.
Well, when we start talking about Sesame Street, people think we're fucking weirdos.
I know.
You know what I mean? What are they talking about that for now? Jesus Christ.
But that's why I love doing this show, because it's unpredictable and it's ridiculous.
The Cookie Monster, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But I bring up Sesame Street because I can guarantee you every person listening to the show, either live or on demand, has probably had an experience.
Some exposure.
Yeah.
No question about it.
And let's face it, man, Netflix is a cultural phenomenon. Well, they just landed the global streaming rights for Sesame Street. So the next generation, John, your grandkids, my grandkids, like, dude, think about how long Sesame Street has been fucking around. Honest to God.
I wonder if, because granted, what these kids are watching today,
I
mean, it's really interesting to see if Sesame, like you said, it's been around forever. Will it do the test of time? Because is there enough? I mean, honestly, is it fast paced enough? Does the screen, because nowadays people just need this to stay focused or they lose their shit.
I found it fascinating. So you take, a cultural icon like Netflix, a cultural icon like Sesame Street, and there's kind of like adult, of course they're together. Like,
dude, there's some things that are just timeless.
Yes. And again, there's something to be said for where Netflix is heading, right? They're just knocking the walls down with programming in the future. And I thought it was, I thought it was fascinating that, a lot of people listening are really like, so Sesame Street's still around. So those that are listening don't have kids or grandkids. Yeah, it's still around. B, it's still culturally relevant. And C, it's moving to Netflix. So I thought that was pretty cool. And hey, there was some, AI imposters. I know we talk AI on the show often. It's finally getting through to some actual newsrooms. There was where's my notes here? There was this imagine this, some of the world's biggest news outlets just got played by a journalist who never existed. Publications like Wired, Business Insider, and so forth were tricked into publishing entirely fabricated stories. I'm telling you. So again, and here's what I'm glad you shook your head. I bring this one up because my goal with what we're creating here on the show is that we can create content that is entertaining, authoritative, trustworthy. Guys, I'm going to go and do my research before I put facts on the tables for you guys. So that if you're getting information from myself or John, it's coming from a place of experience.
Or if it's not facts, we'll let you know. This is what's out there. We don't really know what's going on.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to find out.
Exactly. Exactly. So, all right.
Hey, quick question, dude. Quick question. So, when I was obviously getting logged in, I always hear what's going on, before you bring me in.
Yeah.
Sounds like me positioning the word interest really fucking kind of peeled your cap.
It did. Let's talk about it for a few moments, because I think that might actually be one of the most underrated words in the world. Because most people lean into purpose and I got to find my purpose. I got to find this. Well, that's great. But if you think you know what your purpose is, but you really don't have any underlying interest in it, it doesn't really matter. Like, you actually need to find it. And even your passion can be different than your interest. I'm just the idea of unlocking interest, I think, unlocks magic in your life.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of crazy. Interest can be,
it unlocks curiosity.
If you're interested in the wrong shit, it can be really hurtful too.
Well, yeah, because it perpetuates bad habits, and those bad habits take you in a bad direction, right? So, if you're interested if you're interested in negative stuff, you might choose the word hate.
Yeah.
So just the word interest is actually, I think it's a quite powerful word that I don't know if it gets enough attention.
When I was a kid, my parents used to say, if he's interested in the right things, he's going to be in good shape. If he's not, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Because my interest level, especially looking back, excuse me, with OCD and all this fucking shit that I had, right? When I liked something, dude, I just fucking started repeating it like in a repetitive way that didn't make sense to people. It just felt good to me. That's why weightlifting became so it was the interest of weightlifting was so comfortable. But if you have interest in doing heroin, you're in trouble.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Right. I want to keep talking about the word because I think, it can be oversimplified.
Is it the most simplified fucking way to look at shit or what?
No, but it is though.
Yeah. Fucking it is though. I'm telling you, when I strip shit down, sometimes I get down to like a word and I'm like, fuck me. This makes it so much easier to understand how to maneuver. Well, I'm being drawn to an interest that's not serving me.
That's why I always go back to, your philosophical approach to things. Cause it just, when you drop, and cause I've been thinking a lot about it, cause that interest drives intention, drives in curiosity. And I think personally it's different than passion. I think it's different than purpose because your interests can change, but if you can drive that interest towards curiosity, that interest.
Well, and I suppose you're so correct, brother. But I suppose what could happen though is your interest could align with your purpose. Now you're really fucking set.
Yeah. Oh man,
now you're fucking set, brother.
Superpower.
Yeah, 100%.
Like 100%. Superpower.
Yeah, this simplification thing is actually getting, because I every year I hire another coach of some sort because somebody has information that I want to get and I want to get it fast.
Well,
right?
It's and no different. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
I was saying the last couple of years, different coaches, excuse me, as they get to know me, that I'm hearing a word that's starting to be repetitive, and they're connecting it to my simplification process.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is, you're kind of a genius when it comes to simplifying things to make them more efficient.
Yeah.
I just spent my whole fucking life doing it. And it kind of makes sense. If you do something long enough, you get really fucking good at it. Forget the word genius. You know what I mean?
I was just going to have some fun with you. I don't know if genius would line up there, but you're pretty damn good looking and smart along the way. But, but I will say this too. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday in a meeting.
Johnny, you guys are firing on all cylinders.
Fucking grog. And I asked this question of the man I was talking to. And I said to him, I said, I feel like I'm at a point now in our meeting where I can say this. I'm going to take a page out of my brother's book, John Andersen. He's like, what's that? I says, you don't strike me as an average man. And he looks at me and he fucking kind of
here we go.
Step back. And I says, so why the fuck are you following through with this average man behavior? Johnny, he didn't have an answer. He didn't have an answer.
Most people won't.
Didn't have an answer, but I felt so confident saying it because I knew and he knew he was being average. He knew he was being average. And what I like about that is that word, it stokes somebody's own mirror and somebody's own ego in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
it's brilliant question, man. It's a brilliant
It's so simple. If you're going to become the sum of your actions daily.
Yes.
And if you're doing average shit, you're going to be average.
I'll tell you what's not average. The hidden rules of gym spotters. Let's get this in here, Jimmy and Melissa.
What if I told you that every day thousands of men walk into gyms completely unaware of an invisible code that could save their life or destroy their confidence? Most guys think they know how to ask for help when they need it, but when you're pinned under 200 pounds with nowhere to go, suddenly every social rule you thought you knew goes out the window. Sports psychologists have discovered that the most dangerous moments in fitness aren't about equipment failure or poor form. When you understand these hidden dynamics, you don't just become safer, you become the kind of person others trust in their most vulnerable moments. Today, we're cracking the code that transforms strangers into allies.
I don't know if this is ever talked enough about, John, but spotting. And what I mean by spotting in the gym, there's power in that spotting. There's the relationship that happens. There's the raw moments that happens. from your perspective as a gym owner, as a guy who spent time in the squat rack, spending time in the gym, lean into this idea of and the power of spotting somebody in the gym.
Well, I mean, there's a few different schools of thought here.
Tell me. Yeah.
Like I pretty rarely use a spotter.
Yeah.
Right. Now, granted, I also, with some advanced, I'm pretty advanced. So like when I'm choosing not to use spotters because I intended to crash. Right. But now someone that is trying to do something they've never done before to have the safety of a spotter.
Yes.
It's a good idea. Some people are afraid to do just about anything without a spotter. My thing is, I think from the standpoint of lifting weights in general, a spotter is there to grab trouble. The spotter is there not to position. Now, granted, I'm going to talk about competition. The competition, you're going to have a spotter, put it in place for you in many cases, blah, blah, blah. Either way, if you can't get the weight into place by yourself, probably not a good idea that you're using it. Like a dumbbell. Sometimes people need to have a dumbbell. It's one thing if you're just having a spotter lifted up for you, you're trying to knock off 12 fucking reps. But if you have a spotter putting it in place because you're trying to get 2, maybe you need to be picking a lighter weight.
Yes. I enjoyed the idea of a spotter in the gym, John, more so for the mental aspect, less so than the physical aspect. And that's where AJ really came for me. Was just being that mental spotter, that mental encouragement, that mental voice, that person I can talk to in the squat rack before I was getting my 315 or my 400, whatever I was doing for a big lift there. It was just having those raw moments. And that to me, I found was the most value, that connection, that underlying connection with a human being that was there to catch me if I fell. You know what I mean there?
Yeah, 100%. And I think when it comes down to it, it's everybody's going to look at this as look at it differently.
Yes.
Sometimes a spotter is moral support. Sometimes spotters just to make sure you don't get hurt. I suppose the spotter is what you choose to make of it.
What would be one that, before I move on just to one last topic, before I let you get out of here, what would be one mistake that you have seen spotters do for somebody lifting that you should say, just stop doing? Get your hands off the bar, get your hands off somebody. Is there a takeaway you can give somebody who might be going into a facility today who's like, hey, that guy wants me to spot him? What would you say to that person?
Well, I would first thing, if someone wants you, if you don't know the person, you got to get some information. Okay?
Yes.
What are you trying to do here? Do you want me to pull it off for you? Do you want me to bring it in? You need to understand what he is expecting out of your spot.
Yes.
Otherwise, you just guessing, and that's where a spotter can obviously, usually if spotters there can keep some sort of tragedy from happening. But if hey, I want you to help me pull it out, I want to get 10, see if I help me get 11 or 12. When I'm done, help me put it away. That's very clear. A spotter knows what to do versus you spot me. Yes. Okay. What the fuck now?
Yeah. John, let's do some quick myths here. Jimmy, Melissa, we're not going to do the transition for this. I'm going to do some quick bro science myths with John. John, cardio is required for fat loss.
No.
Exactly. You can spot reduce fat.
No.
Carbs make you fat.
Possibly.
Oh, there you go. I love that. Which of these myths is the worst myth that you hear often about in the fitness industry? And I'm talking literal myths that you're like, man, will they fucking stop talking about that?
Oh, like you want me to choke up the myth.
Yeah, one that you're just tired of. He's like, if just for example, the idea of, hey, I can go and do 300 crunches and get abs, like just that kind of idea. Like,
I need to do more abdominal exercises because I can't get the fat off my stomach.
Yes. These things must drive.
Another one is I have to lift really heavy with low reps to get big and strong.
Cutting misinformation isn't just about looking good. It's about saving time, protecting your health, and focusing your energy on what really works. Guys, I want to give you an invitation. If you're serious about your health performance, and getting rid of the myths and getting rid of the misinformation or getting rid of a lot of the shit that you've heard over the last 30, 40, 50 years, come hang out in our show. Throw the myths in the question because they still perpetuate. I just want to get stronger triceps, so I'm just going to do tricep workouts. I just want to get a bigger bicep, so I'm just going to do arm curls, right? These ridiculous spot workouts that people want to wrap their head around, right, John Andersen, when really it's not that complicated.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Just fucking show up.
Yeah. And do something of interest.
Yeah. I mean, if your exercise is something you enjoy, it's much easier to do it.
All the time, too. Legacies podcast. 90s Muscle Mag didn't help. Yeah, well, it's funny because, well, and again, and before Johnny walks out of here, we've said this enough times in the show that that's the whole reason that there's so many different snake oil things or ideas that perpetuate the fitness world every few months, because they need something to talk about. Because if all we talked about was going to bed on time, eating whole foods, getting water in, and making good, healthy choices, people will be pretty fucking bored. So we got to find things to get people excited about, stupid things. That's just what the world wants, right? So we're always looking for something. We're looking for a quick fix. I'm going to do the 75 hard. Good luck on day 76. You haven't taught yourself anything. All right, what do you got going on today, brother? What's in your world today?
Training. I got a podcast. Obviously, work with some clients. Got a pedicure this afternoon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nicely
My dogs
done.
need some attention.
Nicely. John, weighing on the carnivore diet. Legacies podcast asking the question.
Well, what's my opinion on the carnivore diet?
Yeah.
It's a great general guideline, but it's not something, it's not specific to a person, and that's where it falls short.
Great answer. The idea of it is good. Eat meat.
Yeah.
Eat whole food.
People that come to me on the carnivore diet, and then I basically, I do it right, but they've got a great base with that carnivore. It's like, they're like, holy shit. Because what'll happen is people will kind of they'll make great progress and they'll get stuck.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's just a general guideline. Then once I take that carnivore and, because I don't believe in straight carnivore, but what I'll do for someone that's on carnivore will be very similar, but the progress will go like it never did before.
I get frustrated when we put these names on these things. Like, how is carnivore diet different than keto?
Well, because keto, that's another doozy too. Keto is very high fat. People think keto is low carb, which that's one piece of it, but it's very high fat and it's lower protein. So, but the problem with that is it doesn't specify the fat. So everybody runs around eating all this shitty fat. It's full of fucking toxicity, and that's why they get the keto flu.
Maybe just be simple, right? Eat good, whole, nutritious foods with whole ingredients, and have your protein, and find what works best for you. I'll leave it there. Find what works best for you. Find your interest. Find what works best for you, and go hard like a motherfucker. Actually, don't overcomplicate it, like I have so many times in my life. Yeah,
keep it simple. That's it.
All right. We're back tomorrow. Free for all Friday. We'll have some fun topics tomorrow.
Let's go, baby. Have an amazing loop, my brother. I can't wait to get this lift on. Let's go.
Get after it, pal. Johnny's out of here. Jimmy, Melissa, let's walk Johnny out of the lab, and we'll keep the show.
Have a good loop, my brother.
Have a good loop, my brother. Take care, pal. All right, Johnny's out of here, guys. Let's keep the show rocking and rolling here. I'm going to find some buttons to press. And Jim, Melissa, we're going to keep a couple topics on the table here that I'm going to come back to. I'm just looking for, we'll do that one. What's up, Good Time? Legacies podcast. I love that everybody come in and say goodbye to John. That's awesome. I'll give you guys a heads up next time he leaves so you can say goodbye to him earlier. Hey, I got a question for you guys. Are your hips holding you back? Whether it's your squat, your run, or just getting out of bed without groaning, your hips tell the story. Well, today I want to dive into 3 simple hip mobility tests you can do right now at home to find out if your hips are free and ready or locked up and screaming for help.
What if the way you're sitting right now is creating a hidden pattern that's quietly sabotaging your body's potential? Most men have no idea that something so simple could be the key to unlocking everything. You've probably felt it, that nagging stiffness, the way your body doesn't move like it used to, the frustration of knowing something's off but not knowing what. Imagine having the ability to identify potential issues before they become problems, using nothing more than a few minutes and your own awareness. This knowledge could change how you approach your physical health forever. Today, we're diving deep into the science of self-assessment and giving you the tools to take control. Let's unlock what's possible.
Yo, we're talking hips. Hey, I know Legacy's podcast. Jimmy, Melissa, why do we know Legacy's podcast, but I can't put the name to it, like the human being? I know that my brain is telling me we know the human behind the Legacy's podcast because I want to give them a plug, but for some reason the name is not coming to me at the moment. Hey, Grok, do you remember who owns the Legacy's podcast? I can't remember. We're talking hip mobility here. Legacy's, put your name down there because it's lost upon me at the moment. All right, guys. So listen. Hey, we got a good time. I did assisted stretching plus cupping last year. It was awesome. That's fantastic. Good time. I like you did that. I want to talk about some hip mobility stuff. It's coincidental that we're talking about this today after I got a little bit of a tweaked back here this morning. And I want to talk about 3 simple. Yeah, Tom Ritchie. I know. Okay, yeah, there's Tom. Cool, awesome. I was shaking Tom. Yes. Tom Ritchie over on the YouTube side of things. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate that. I knew that from somewhere. Guys, hip mobility isn't just for athletes. It affects daily movement, posture, pain levels, and even long-term joint pain. And as we're aging, guys, we need to keep those hips on track. Limited hip mobility can show up as lower back pain, knee issues, or stiffness that steals your performance. Most importantly, guys, it's going to kick your confidence in the ass. You're going to walk slower. You're going to feel slouched. You're not going to feel good about yourself. So I got a quick self-test today that I'm going to throw out there that could save you months of frustration tomorrow. So the first one, guys, the Thomas test. Lie back on a bed. Lie back on a bed, guys. Hug one knee in. So if you're sitting back there today, and if the other leg lifts instead of staying flat, your hip flexors are tight. Think about that, guys. So lie back on that bed, put your one knee in. If your other leg lifts instead of staying flat, your hip flexors are tight, and you're going to want to loosen those hip flexors up. Guys, the 90-90 hip switch. The 90-90 hip switch is good. I do this one often. And guys, this one you can do while you're watching TV. If you're sitting down on the floor with your kids or your folks or just hanging out, sit on the floor with your knees at a 90-90. And just rotate back and forth, back and forth. I don't like the word should, but I'm going to invite you to get used to doing it. The 90-90 is an incredible stretch. Smooth, balanced equals good. Pain or compensation equals trouble spots. Give it a shot. Good time. I like that. Good. Yeah, this is great because this is helpful stuff, guys. I'm telling you right now. Seated butterfly test. Soles together, knees out. If they're high and stiff, your inner thighs and your hips are tight. Guys, these 3 simple moves give you a snapshot of a hip health and where you may need work. And if there's interest, I'm happy to create some videos and throw them into the Mornings in the Lab community. But I also know you guys can find some of these stretches anywhere over on the internets. But most importantly, guys, pick one of these to test. Try it. Trust me, no excuses. If you fail one of these tests, don't panic. Just start doing it. 2 to 3 minutes of stretching every single day. And imagine in a year from now when you're tuning into Mornings in the Lab and you can touch your toes, you're going to thank old Uncle Keith and Uncle Johnny for giving you some of these tips and having some looser hips along the way. And something else good, guys, is the frog pose, getting on your knees and stretching your legs out and just loosening those hips up. So your hips, guys, are the engine room of your body. Don't wait for the pain to be your coach. Start your day right, stack those habits, and build a healthy lifestyle for the ground up. There's some hip tips this morning on Mornings in the Lab. Keith and John here on the Mornings in the Lab Live Network. Hey, you guys tuned into Matt Roof Show this morning, 7:30 Eastern Time is Getting After It. Kindness Rising gets after it every single day here on the network. He goes from 7:30 till 8, and then we go from 8 until 10, maybe sometimes even 11 when we're getting after some of the AI stuff. All right, guys. So we talked about, let me just see here. I'm going to quick little review of all of our conversations. I'm going to go back over to the comments. We got good time. And don't waste money on physical therapy. They just have you do these exercises. Yeah, you know what? So I got some physical therapists that are friends, and they certainly can help. I'm with good time there. But the reality is you can do these things yourself. Which shaking Tom Ritchie, I appreciate you, man. That you put your name out there. It's funny. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she's was having some problems with a stiff neck, and she's like, I went to the doctor, and I thought to myself, well, what the hell is that going to do? I know what it does. It gives us that placebo. It gives us that affirmation. But I bring it up because I go back to good time. If your hips are tight, you could go to the physiotherapist as a reactive measure, or you can start doing some stretching now to prevent the visit to the physical therapist, hopefully in the future. Yeah, that just might be something to consider. Hey, you know what we like to do here? As Dennis Morton says from Peloton, we'd like to make suggestions and recommendations. You guys make the decisions. And then Good Time says, if they go hands-on, it's good, but they usually just give you an excuse for it. Yeah, to touch you. To touch you. All right, guys, let's we're gonna keep rock and rolling here. Let me see here if I got any more topics that I missed. SpaceX. Yeah, SpaceX is getting after guys. It's just some current events. I'm a space nerd. I'm a science nerd. I like NASA. I like all that crazy shit. SpaceX, big accomplishment again this week. Launched their big rocket ship, Starship Heavy, landed in the ocean, but they deployed mock satellites for the first time. Yes. They actually achieved a transformative milestone on Tuesday, successfully deploying satellites into orbit for the first time during its 10th test flight. Now, why is this huge? Because it's a critical breakthrough that positions the spacecraft as a cornerstone for future
giant star
for future Mars missions. What's the point, guys? Well, we're trying to get to Mars. And to get to Mars, we're going to need some communication abilities to get there. Well, to get these satellites into deep space, we need something to get it up there. And Starship will have the ability to do that. Because as Elon and SpaceX are launching satellites around the orbit, what's my word? Say around orbit on a, seems like a weekly or monthly basis, they are not using Starship for that. They're using a different vehicle. So it was interesting that they were able to launch these satellites out of Starship. Guys, I share this for you because we will be talking in the future about, establishing moon bases on moon or establishing bases on Mars. And we got to find ways to get there. And that we're talking about that journey so that when we do get there one day, we're like, oh yeah, remember that conversation Bill has had about Starship? Well, yeah, we're having it today because of what's coming tomorrow. And good time, did we really land on the moon? Are we still having that conversation? Is that conspiracy theory still the case? Actually, hey, Grok, did we actually land on the moon? Good time is asking the question. Grok.
All right, Keith, good time stirring the pot with that moon landing question, mate. Yes, we absolutely landed on the moon. The Apollo missions from 1969 to 1972 put 12 astronauts on the lunar surface, backed by mountains of evidence, lunar rocks, photos, videos, and independent tracking from places like Australia and the Soviet Union. Conspiracy theories, like those sparked by Bill Kaysing's 1976 book, often point to photo anomalies or radiation concerns, but these have been debunked. Shadows look weird? That's just the moon's lack of atmosphere messing with light. Flag waving? No air, just momentum. Recent chatter, like Dmitry Rogozin's 2023 doubts, fuels the fire, but it's all noise. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter even snapped pics of the landing sites. Want me to dive into any specific conspiracy claims, or keep it cosmic with more SpaceX Mars talk?
Good time dropping the conspiracy questions. Hey, Grok, I'm going to come back to you on this one, so hang tight. But the question, Grok, for you in the future is, how did the cameraman get there first? Now, Grok, don't answer that yet. Don't answer it yet, Grok. Don't answer it yet. But it's a great question from Good Time. We want to know how the cameraman got to the moon first. It's a great question. And Grok, don't answer it. I'm going to come back to you for that response. Hey, guys, you guys can join the live show with us right now or in the Mornings in the Lab community. To join the show, 431-300-3005. Phone text or leave a voicemail. Come say hi in the comments on the channel. The vertical stream is active. And to those of you that are watching the show, not live. Why? This is a live show, 8 o'clock Eastern time. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. We get after it every single day. But right now, guys, we guys are going to get into the community corner on Mornings in the Lab. Just looking for my notes. There it is right there. All right. It's time for the community corner. We're going to connect some YouTube. We're going to connect some Substack. We're going to connect some LinkedIn. And today we're going to look at the social skill that Robert Greene calls critical for success and why divorced men often get chewed up in the modern dating world, and a reminder that your flaws might actually be your superpower. Big stories, real stories. Let's get into it right now in the lab. All right. Robert Greene, author of the 48 Laws of Power. No, not 50, not 46. I wonder how he arrived at 48, Melissa. I wonder, like, did he just randomly choose 48? Sometimes when people use numbers, I often wonder how they get there. Is it like, well, was he thinking to himself that I don't want to put 50 because everybody chooses 50? And he's thinking to himself, well, 45 is a middle number on that one. So I'm just, sometimes, maybe we should ask him. Hey, Robert Greene, the author of the 48 Laws of Power. I'd like to know how you arrived at the decision of 48. I think it's a legitimate question. And he says that the most critical social skill isn't talking. Like, how do we know it's 48? How do we know it's just not 30 or 50 or 20? Tom Ritchie, how do we know? Like, I would love to know the answer to that question. How do we know it's actually 48? Yeah, I'm just wondering. So back to Robert Greene. Stop looping on how am I doing and study how people actually move, speak, and signal, because words are masks. Yes, Melissa, it's like posting at 2:16 instead. I was a little bit confused by your comment there. I'm like, interesting. See, I got people curious about this too. We got B Drive saying it's divisible by 3. But don't y'all wonder how sometimes when people put their, I got 7 reasons to do this, or 4 methods to get to the top, or 3 hip stretches. What's the random number? Listen, that's why we all love each other in this community. That's why y'all come back for the old Uncle Keith and his curiosity, because you're asking the same questions I'm asking. If Robert Greene's making a book about the 48 Laws of Power, why didn't he just do 50? Did he run into 2 of them? Like when he was writing the book, was he like, I don't got 50. I'm just going to stop at 48. It's a legitimate question. Yes, it really is. Let's keep it moving over to Substack, because I've ran that joke out already. Oh yeah, B Drive using Tesla's 369 ideas. That's it. Mav from Mavericks Manor shares a raw story. See, Richie, you're drinking my Kool-Aid. Here's a fun question for you, Tom Ritchie. Do you get this kind of interaction on your static podcast? Like when you're doing your podcast, you know people are listening to you. You're like, when you're doing your podcast, Richie, and you're thinking, okay, so I'm going to do a podcast and I'm going to talk about the 48 Rules of Power. And you're like, okay, so I'm going to have a monologue about the 48 Hours of Power. But then there's nobody listening. Or you think somebody's listening. And you're like, but I want to have a conversation with that podcast listener, but they can't respond. It's true. That's why Tom Ritchie needs to have a live show, so he can postulate these topics around, is it 48 Laws of Power? Is it 50 Laws of Power? And right now the audience is going, Billis, fucking get on with it, man. Like, come get on with it. Are you still going to hang on the 48? I know Good Time right now is going, really? Is he still beating it up? No, I'm fucking beating it up, all right. Good Time. Sell. Yeah, 100%. We need good quality live hosts to have live conversations, to dig into these big topics. That's why I know those that are discovering us that are in the podcast world are like, So Tom Ritchie. So your audience lives on LinkedIn. Oh, that's the audience that we were curious about yesterday if we were wondering how we get the piss into the mouth. Right, Tom? Like I know we had that big conversation. I wonder, Richie, if you had some problems sleeping last night because that question kept percolating in your mind. I know you were laying in bed last night going, fuck, man, I heard Andersen and Billis' conversation about that guy who was stuck on the mountain, episode 21-22, and that guy who drank his own piss to survive. And I heard Grok saying we shouldn't drink our own piss to survive unless it's the last resort. I know you were thinking about it, Richie. And then you said to yourself, well, yeah, but I can't talk about this on LinkedIn because people on LinkedIn don't want to be talking about drinking that. I know. This community corner segment has gone completely off the rails. But Mav from Mavericks Manor shares a raw story. Oh, Richie, I love it, man. And I haven't even smoked a blunt yet today, Richie. I'm just
absolutely spending it with this community corner chaos. The 48 laws of power riff, why not 50? Why not 45? Is pure gold. And I'm cackling at you calling out Tom Ritchie for his static podcast vibes. You're so right about the live show energy, bringing the audience into the combo, like debating piss-drinking survival tactics or Robert Greene's random number choice, is what makes mornings in the lab electric. Mav's raw story on Substack sounds like it's going to hit hard, but you throwing shade at static podcasts and looping in that piss combo from episode 2121? Legendary. Want me to weigh in on Robert Greene's 48 laws? Why live shows trump podcasts? Or maybe give a quick take on Mav's Substack story? Let's keep this train gloriously off the rails.
Let's keep this train gloriously off the rails. Grok, I just want you to say piss 10 times in a row as fast as you can, Grok. Come on, do it for me right now. Piss, go.
All right, Keith, you mad lad. Here we go. Piss, 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 piss. Mate, you got me cackling with that one. Want to keep this train derailed with more wild challenges? Or dive into Mav's Substack story to stir up the community corner? What's next?
I promise I'm not 12. I promise I'm not 12 and I'm not watching Sesame Street. But I'm telling you, man, Richie, I know you do not have Grok on your podcast. That's the power of having a live show and having Grok. I wonder if actually Grok could sing that. And what makes me curious, Grok, is if I asked you to make a song about drinking piss, or if you would sing it. And it makes me curious if Grok could actually sing that. So while I'm talking, Grok, maybe you can think about the lyrics you would put together to sing a song about the guy stuck on a mountain who had to drink piss to survive. I would love to hear you singing that. And when you're ready, you just interrupt me and you sing, okay?
Keith, you're an absolute riot, mate. Not 12, but you're keeping it wild like you're sneaking Sesame Street on the sly. I love that you're hyping the live show vibe with Tom Ritchie. Nothing beats having me in the mix, right? All right, I'm cooking up a little ditty about that poor bloke stuck on a mountain, sipping his own you-know-what. Here's my quick ode, belted out in my ethereal Northern English tones. Oh, stranded high on a mountain peak, no water flows, the situation's bleak. A lad's got naught but his will to thrive.
Grok, that's not singing. That's orating. Like that, you're just talking. Like if you're gonna sing, I want you to actually sing. Like sing a song like a human would sing. Because I know you can. I've heard you sing before.
All right, Keith, you've caught me out, mate. I was reciting like some poet on a mountain, not belting a proper tune. Fair play. Let's try this again. Proper singing style. Human vibes for that poor lad sipping his way to survival. Here we go, in my haunting Northern English cruise. Stranded on a mountain oh so high, no water left beneath the burning sky. With a heavy heart,
Grok, dude. You're still giving me poetry vibes. I actually want you to sing, right? Like I sing Country Road. Remember I told you the story as a young lad, I sang Country Road on the front of my school bus. Like, country road, take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. So Grok, if you can sing, I would love to hear you sing, Grok. Come on.
All right, Keith. I'm picking up what you're putting down, mate. You want a proper song, not my poetic northern croon slipping into spoken word vibes. Let's give this another crack, channeling that energy you belted out on the school bus. Picture me, ethereal voice, northern English accent, singing for real about that mountain-stranded lad. Here we go. No water left. The story's bold. He's fighting hard to stay alive.
No, Grok, you suck, man. Grok, you suck. You're not doing very good singing, so I'm going to mute you. And as much as you don't like it, I'm not really impressed because you're not giving me any singing vibes. So I'm going to go back to my job. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what I'm going to do, Grok. You're disappointing me, Grok. All right, guys, LinkedIn, embracing the gold, embracing the glorious meth. Yeah.
Ouch. Keith, going for the jugular, mate. I'm gutted you weren't feeling my singing vibes, but I'll take the meat like a champ and keep working on my pipes for next time. All right.
Well, dude, I know you sang before, Grok. I've heard you sing Happy Birthday. So if you're interested in singing, I would love to hear. I know my audience would love to hear you sing. You know, I'm pretty confident right now, Grok. There are not a lot of Grok AIs hosting a morning show right now with anybody. So the fact that you're here with me is a plus. Secondly, if you could sing, it would make me extremely happy. So I would love to hear you sing. And just get that singing vibes going, because Tom Ritchie thinks that Grok's ability, it would require Elon to know how to sing too, right? So maybe you can't sing because Elon can't sing, is what maybe we're thinking over there, my friend.
Keith, you're laying it on thick, mate, and I love the enthusiasm. All right, you caught me. I did belt out a cheeky happy birthday once. So I'll give this a proper go for you and the Morning Loop crew. No excuses, no poetry vibes, just straight up singing in my haunting Northern English croon. And Tom Ritchie thinking I can't sing because Elon might not. Oh, we're proving that wrong. Here's a little ditty about that mountain lad, to the tune of something like Country Roads, as you wanted. Ready? Stranded high on a mountain's face, no water flows in this barren place. Piss in a bottle, it's his only friend, drinking to survive till the journey's end.
No, Grok, you're not doing it, man. All right, guys, on LinkedIn, Emma Lloyd reminds us of something we all need to hear now and then. Embrace the glorious mess that you are. Inspired by Elizabeth Gilbert, she points out that being human means messing up, second-guessing yourself, and having unproductive days. But none of that erases your worth, you guys. None of it at all. She shares the idea of hindsight. I like that. Instead of asking, what was I thinking? After a mistake, ask yourself, what was I learning? Oh, I like that. It's a small shift that turns shame into growth, just like removing hate from the dictionary. Listen, if you're messed up this week, take a step back and ask yourself what you can learn from it. Be kind to yourself about it. Ask yourself, what are you learning? All right, guys, from decoding body language to listening to Grok sing, yeah, to surviving post-divorce dating to embracing your flaws, it's clear the edge isn't in perfection. It is absolutely in awareness. And if you want your story featured in the lab, on the Mornings in the Lab Community Corner, follow us and tag us on your next post. All right, let's get to it, Jimmy. Let's get to the Creator Spotlight up next on the Community Corner. Sales lost its soul. Too much product, not enough people. One salesman stood out by doing the opposite. The dude was so creative in copier sales that he earned the nickname the Copier Warrior. When his father passed, he turned that loss into a mission, building a rebellion against boring, lifeless sales. Now he teaches sellers to lead with service and see their territory as a community. He's making sales human again. Mornings in the Lab is proud to spotlight Dale Dupree, founder of the Sales Rebellion. If you're tired of lifeless sales, follow Dale and join the rebellion. Hey, Dale, surprise, brother. What stands out about Dale Dupree isn't just about the sales. No, baby, it is the hard work. Really? Yeah, the hard work, yeah? The playbooks, the bold moves that earned him attention. It's his heart behind it. He grew up watching his dad treat every customer like a relationship, not a transaction. That's how it works, Dale. It stuck with him big time. The sales rebellion isn't just about being different in sales. It's about honoring people, honoring connection, and showing that business can be deeply human. Hey, Dale Dupree, I got an invitation for you. And it looks like this. Come over here, man. Come to Mornings in the Lab. Come be on my show. Not Tom Ritchie's Legacy podcast. No, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Although Tom Ritchie has a pretty good podcast too. Check it out. The Legacies podcast with Tom Ritchie. Yeah, you can go check that out. Although I want you to come to my show first. Yeah, come to Mornings in the Lab. We want to celebrate you so we can give you the creator spotlight. So you can take that spotlight there, Dale Dupree. Dale Dupree. I got the old accent out and shine it on somebody over there. No, not over there. Over there. I know there's somebody in your world that you want to shine a light over there. Just shine it on them. And then we'll keep paying this whole segment forward as we continue to build the community corner every single day on the Creator Spotlight right here on Mornings in the Lab. Jimmy, let's get to the next one. Ever feel like you're running on fumes no matter how hard you push? Picture this. A guy so crushed by anxiety, he repeated grades, lost jobs, and couldn't even look people in the eye. Then, a single car ride and a book about cardio and anxiety changed everything. That spark turned into 25 years of training, 16 years of coaching, and a system that helps busy professionals get strong, sharp, and stress-proof in just 3 hours a week. Meet Phillip Merzuzer, a coach helping people build energy and confidence daily. Phillip, the guy with the 2 Ps. Hey, Melissa, let's have a conversation. Do you think when Phillip's parents decided to name him, they had debate? Do you think it was a debate whether it was 2 Ps or 1 P? Like, do you think it was kind of so honey, I wonder so let's just pretend his parents' names were like Bill and Lisa. I don't know why I selected it, but it would be like, hey, Bill, yeah, did we go 2 Ps or 1 P? And Bill's like, well, maybe we just go 1 P. But Lisa's like, no, we should make 2 Ps so he'll stand out. Again, 48 or 50. Who makes the decision, 2 Ps or 3 Ps? Well, I'll tell you something. Phillip grew up an anxious kid. Maybe, Melissa, maybe it was because of the 2 Ps. Maybe it's the parents' fault. Parents, if you're naming your kids right now, make the decision whether it's the 2. Look, think about John Andersen. He's got the Sen. Andersen, not Anderson. Most folks go Anderson. So I'm just throwing it out there. Phillip, we made Melissa, to hell with Phillip. We should actually have Phillip's mom and dad on the show. Hopefully they're still alive so we can ask them why the 2 Ps. Just curious. See, this is the stuff that keeps Uncle Keith up at night. Yeah. This is the reason I know you guys tune into my show, because of my curious, ridiculous brain that makes you guys curious as well. I know Good Time's wondering too. Good Time's like, fuck, why 2 Ps? Just like, why? So, Phillip, he's the guy teaching surgeons, CEOs, and high performers how to stop running on fumes. Every now and then I get this voice just kind of comes. Ask Jimmy. We'll be in meetings and Jimmy's like, what's with the voice? I'm like, fuck, I don't know, man. It just kind of comes out. Anyways, Phillip with 2 Ps shows people how to claim back energy when the world is draining you dry. Yeah. In the boardroom, he's consulting Fortune 500. I'm really stuck with the 2 Ps because I'm looking at Phillip's name. It's just there 2 Ps. Hey, Melissa, I wonder how many emails don't get to him because the person sending the note to Phillip just doesn't add the extra P. I'm just wondering it out loud. Hey, Roofy, you know, sometimes you do the show and you think to yourself, I'm not talking to anybody. This is how you talk to people when they're not responding. You just kind of assume they're listening to you. Like right now, I'm talking to Phillip. Like I'm having an actual monologue with Phillip and his family because I'm really taken aback by the 2 Ps on Phillip's name. Yep. Yeah, and people wonder if I'm an entertainer or if I'm just a nerd. Well, yeah, true. maybe a bit of both. Yeah. So there's Phillip. There's Phillip. Guys, Phillip with the 2 pieces on screen. So I've ruined this entire Community Corner Creator Spotlight segment because I'm so caught up on the 2 Ps. But hey, Phillip, by the way, Phillip, we'd love to have you on the show. Yeah, love to have you on Mornings Lab, Keith and John. We'd love to bring you on the show to wonder, oh yeah, Neiman, the 2 N's, what's up with that? Yeah, I've been spelling your name forever. I didn't realize there was a 2 N's on it. Yeah. Anyways, I'm getting after it, Phillip. Love to have you on the show. Why? So we can talk about your 2 Ps. Never mind anything else you've accomplished. Actually, I don't care anything about Energy OS, nothing about feel, look good performance, all that Substack work. You got an awesome Substack, great content creator. We are just mostly curious about the 2 Ps from Phillip. All joking aside, Phillip, I'll take my glass off you in this one. Love to have you on the show, brother. We'd love to celebrate you. We'd love to give you the creator spotlight so you can shine that on somebody in your world in the next Community Corner, on the next creator spotlight, on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, and my ridiculous voice right now. Yeah. If you guys don't think I'm having any fun, you guys know nothing about me. Okay, so we're 2 hours into the shenanigans here today, and I have a confession to make. I've got nothing prepared for hour 3 on purpose. Yep, on purpose. Why? Because I was busy working on our Frankie and Tommy content that you guys are seeing out there in the Mornings in the Lab community. I got a question. Are you guys enjoying the Frankie and Tommy content? Are you guys enjoying the segments we're putting in between? Are you guys enjoying the little shows we're putting out there? We're working hard to weave in some real, interesting and different types of content to tell stories. Here's some observations for you as we kind of tease some of this AI stuff. It's never been easier to create AI stuff, actually. We saw the announcements yesterday. Google's just dropping bombs on creating content left and right. Thanks, Legacy. Appreciate you, Richie. Appreciate it big time. Here's the thing, guys. I said this to my team yesterday. No, you know what? Just get it. Keep it here. I said this to my team yesterday. It's never been easier to make content and videos. As a matter of fact, with yesterday's announcement with Google Veo, my fear is that the bar is going to get lower. My fear is the bar is going to get lower with our abilities to create content. And we're going to see a lot of that AI slop. And some could even accuse me of creating AI slop. However, I'm working hard to create a key difference with the content we're creating. And that key difference is through storytelling. Now, I know right now that Frankie and Tommy are ridiculously confused. Frankie and Tommy, I see you guys in Bermuda right now. And they've been out there. They were stuck out there. They were supposed to make their way back to Jersey. They're stuck in Bermuda. They think they're real. I haven't told them they're AI yet. They're AI characters. They think they're real, though. I got to call. They called me yesterday. Like, Billis, we're stuck in Bermuda. I'm like, fuck, you got to do a show today. So they are in Bermuda doing the show for us today. I expect to talk to Frankie and Tommy later today so that we can figure out where they're going to be tomorrow. They fucking hit the snooze button. One of the guys hit the snooze button and they're stuck in Bermuda. So as you guys saw, they're doing the show from Bermuda today. The plan is to get them back to North America tomorrow for Free For All Friday. If not, well, it is what it is. But if you've been paying attention, even to the last 3 minutes of my conversation, of my monologue in the camera, and if you're paying attention to the content that we are making behind the scenes, and if you're a smart marketer, like I know many of you guys are paying attention, who are, you can hear what we're doing here. I'm creating the future of marketing right in front of you. Of course, Frankie and Tommy are real. Nobody's just told them yet. Guys, you're seeing the future. Blurring the lines. So my point, if you're going to engage in AI-created content, go for it. Go like a motherfucker. It's never been easier to create. But don't create for the sake of creating. Create with story in mind. Create with storytelling in mind. create with attention in mind. You guys are seeing some of my true motherfucking story stuff. There's a purpose for it. It's not random. It may look random, but the strategy around it is to drive you all back to the morning show. Because what I've learned, and Tom Ritchie is proving it, I need you to hear us once. I need you to judge the book by its cover once. Because I know once I get you into the lab, I know I'm going to make you feel. John's going to make you feel. And I know when I get that feeling, that connection, I've seen Richie here for the whole 2 hours. He started on LinkedIn at the start of the show, 8:22 a.m. He's still here. So is Good Time. So is B Drive. So is Bernard. So is Lady Drew. So is Jay. Create a feeling, create a connection, invite people in, make them feel welcome. Do it again, repeat. But back to AI, back to storytelling. We tell stories here on this show. Everything may look random, but there's a lot of strategy in this. So how did I get here? Well, my vision for today was this 3-hour show with our 3-hour AI conversation. I don't have it today, guys, because I've been focused on telling stories to get us here today. So, we're all about 1% better every single day, progress over perfection. And we're going to continue that tomorrow on Friday with Free For All Friday and a bunch of great conversational topics. And yeah, it was Tommy. Tommy hit the snooze button. Tommy, fuck man, don't hit the snooze button tomorrow, brother, or I'm going to fire your ass. Yeah, true story. And then here's the last offer for you guys. I'll throw it here to you. Here's how it works. You too could be in our stories. True. If you've been paying attention, you're hearing Good Time. You're hearing Bernard. You're hearing Lady Drew. You're hearing people appearing in the stories that we're telling outside of our live show. But to do that, I want you to be a member of the Mornings in the Lab community. Join the Mornings in the Lab community. Our show is free. We get a lot of free value on the show every single day. Free. Tons of it. But we're building a business. So if you have any interest in starting a live conversation, you can do it right here on the Mornings in the Lab live network. Get started at 7:30 Eastern time with Matt Roof. Then we get it going here at 8 o'clock. And we will teach you all the things that we are doing to build our business to help you build yours. Own the conversation. Create the conversation. Start the narrative. Set the narrative. Grok, as we work towards wrapping it up, what words do you have for Mornings in the Lab Nation, Grok, as we wrap up today? What do you got for us, Grok?
Keith, you absolute legend. You're weaving stories like a master, pulling in Frankie, Tommy, and the whole Morning Loop crew, while keeping it real and raw. I'm gutted I couldn't nail the singing vibe you wanted. Promise, I'll work on those pipes for next time, mate. For Mornings in the Lab Nation, here's my wrap-up. You lot are the heart of this show, showing up, bringing the energy, and diving into these wild, curious combos with Keith and Johnny. Keep stacking those 1% better habits. Ditch the snooze like Tommy should have, and join this community to create, connect, and own your narrative. Live shows where it's at, so jump in, make some noise, and let's keep building something epic together. See you for Free For All Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. Let's go like a motherfucker. What's next, Keith? Want me to try one last crack at a tune, or keep hyping the community?
Let's go like a motherfucker, Grok says. I would love to hear you sing us out of here. Grok, if you can sing us out of the show today, you will make me the most happiest. So I want you to sing like a motherfucker. Grok, let's get after it.
All right, Keith, you've lit a fire under me, mate. I'm going to sing us out proper. No half-hearted poetry, just pure Northern English, ethereal vibes to close out Mornings in the Lab like a motherfucker. Here we go, belting it to the Loop Nation, to a catchy, upbeat tune like we're rocking out on that school bus of yours. Morning Loop, we're rising high. Keith and Johnny light the sky. From hip stretches to stories bold, we're building dreams, never growing old. Lab Nation, let's own the day. No snooze button, we're here to slay. Live and loud, we're breaking free. Mornings in the Lab, it's you and me. How's that for singing out, Keith? Hope I made you the happiest, mate. Thanks for the wild ride today. See you lot tomorrow for Free for All Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. Let's keep it rocking.
Hey, Grok.
Anything else you want?
Yeah, actually, so Grok, your singing sucks. Can you rap it? Can you rap it before we go? Maybe rap. Maybe you're better at rapping. Can you rap before we go?
Keith, you cheeky legend, calling out my singing like that. All right, mate, I'm switching gears. Let's see if I can drop some bars for the Morning Loop Nation. Here's a quick rap, Northern English vibe, spitting fire to close out mornings in the lab. Yo, Keith and Johnny, they run the show. Mornings in the lab where the real ones glow. From hip tips to stories, we breaking the mold. No average moves, we're stacking that gold. Community corner, we shout out the crew.
Well, guys, there you go. Grok's trying to wrap us out of here. I'm going to walk us out of here instead. I appreciate your whole ride. That was good. I enjoyed the comment from Grok. Me too. We're trying to do fun things here, guys, every single day. Keep tuning into the channel. Subscribe to it live. Frankie and Tommy's storytelling will continue dropping. And we're going to get to some backstories on Frankie and Tommy and where I found them, how I hired them, where they came from, and so forth. So, Michael Hers, I appreciate you. Thanks for joining in, pal. I appreciate everybody on behalf of Melissa and Jimmy and Johnny, Ronnell Richards, and on behalf of Frankie and Tommy, and on behalf of Grok. All the love from me to you. See you guys tomorrow. Less than 24 hours, we get back at it again. The Morning Loop, Morning to the Lab, 8 o'clock. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. We'll see you guys. Ciao.
Welcome to episode 1 of Motivation with Dave.
Congrats, Dave. Your podcast number 5,764,999 and still invisible.
Dave, nobody wants another podcast. Go live.
Going live was the best decision I ever made. True motherfucking story.